A fellow YouTuber and I challenged each other to build ice picks. I don't want to use his name because I invited him into my shop and he stole from me. All I'm going to say, his name starts with a J. So I made this ice pick for J. He has a few subscribers. If you watch woodworking YouTubers, you should recognize him. I was super excited to do this collaboration because this YouTuber has built several ice picks. During the editing process, I found some footage of this YouTuber that stole something from me. I'm finally ready to show this video. But first, here's how I made my ice pick. I measured some screwdriver handles to get an idea of scale, searched the internet for some images, grabbed a chunk of walnut, started cutting. I ripped it down to a rough size. And I'm going to do a two-tone, so I'm going to take this piece of maple here and glue that into the handle as well. And that required me to split my blank in half. Add some glue. Rub it around with my finger. Glue it all up. Oh yeah, you got to do clamps. Do a glue without clamps. What was I thinking? Alright, unclamp. I'm gonna have to cut that, but that's the first part. That would be the handle. It'll be shorter. I created a story stick to kind of measure out the proportions that I had. So I had checked around the internet, checked a few different ice picks and how long the shaft were, how long the handle was, and I created that little story stick. So these are holding it in place, so when I clamp, big clamp, that it doesn't go back and forth. When I squeeze it, one would slide one way, one would slide the other way. So these hold it in place. Hopefully, it will come out square or lined up. So I'm making an ice pick for Joe Shepherd over at Shepherd's Workbench. He's a youth pastor. Decided to make one with a cross for him. I have the blank. I've never made one of these before. So that's a good size handle. But I don't want to make it round because I don't want it to roll off the bench. I'm going to trim it to this line on that side and to that line on that side. Hopefully this walnut doesn't splinter out. I'm really worried it's going to be too small of a handle. So I'm going to cut it and I'm going to hope for the best. I finished on the table saw. I made it. Feels good. Put a 45-degree on all the corners. I've done it. Oh man, I was nervous that it wasn't going to work out. But I have a chamfer on all the edges, even the top. all the way around. Fits nice in the hand. Still got to cut this piece off. Probably chamfer that as well. I gotta figure out how to mark the center of this. So I started drilling a hole. My drill press isn't big enough to drill a hole all the way through. So I started from one side and then flipped it over and drilled from the other side. But here my drill bit's sticking down too much. So I need to loosen that drill bit, lift it up so I can get the blank. Start drilling down. And then I took the drill bit out and put it in just a little bit into the drill press so it has a longer shaft on it. Next I moved on to sharpening the ice pick. I didn't know if I need to heat treat it or if just grinding and sanding it would be enough. I didn't want to overheat the shaft, so I kept an empty can of peas with some water in it and occasionally dunk the shaft in there to cool it down. I'm sorry, Joe. I messed up your ice pick. So when I was drilling the hole, I drilled in from this side, and I was thinking I would put this all the way through the handle so it would stick out the other side, and I'd just sand it flush. I was worried because I don't have a drill bit long enough to go all the way through, so I drilled through from one end, drilled through to the other, hoping that they would meet up in the middle. They did, but they were offset. So I took the 4mm rod in my drill and I pushed it all the way through. And now you can see that I've got two holes, one offset from the other. So now I got to fix this problem. My thought is I could drill that hole even bigger, maybe make it worse. So I got a piece of maple hardwood floor, that's what the cross is made of. That's strips of maple hardwood floor. I drill a piece of this, glue it in, and nobody will ever know unless you watch this video. So in order to use the plug, you need one of these. It's a countersink bit. This is a number 10. So I'm going to try to drill that hole out better. Fingers crossed this works. Well, the bit's nice and sharp. It's not so bad. Here I'm just roughing up the shaft. It's glued in there. Oh, I should sand that. Sand that finish off. There. Hole's plugged. I just need to epoxy the shaft in. Should I wipe that or leave it? I really want to wipe it. If I wipe it, is it going to ruin it? Let's try. Right back. Going to get the mustard for my lunch before Joe gets here. That's not my hot dog. Does look like a hot dog. I don't think I can eat it though. After sanding to 220 grit, I put some water on the ice pick to raise the grain. However, I didn't have any water in the workshop. Luckily, it was a convenient time of year. I had lots of snow. So with the grain raised, I sand it again up to 220. Thanks to Joe Shepard over at Shepard's Workbench for making me the hot dog ice pick. No thanks for stealing my lunch, though. Come on, Joe. I did get him back. Go to his channel, watch his video, see what I did. Shepard's Workbench. The link to his channel is in the description.